What's up, faggots? Bad Pop here, but I got some great news. As you might have heard, patrolbase.net is up and running, and it's now offering genuine redonkulous swag in the form of t-shirts and mugs. But what you don't know is I ordered 200 shirts just for me, and I'm not sharing. I'm just fucking with you, gentlemen. I'm gonna autograph those shirts right after I risk a couple of homo suspicion points. Because I have to go to a special store that sells chick shit and buy a special pen that writes on fabric. Just saying that and knowing that's in my near future, I need a goddamn beer. So gentlemen, if you want one of these shirts or one of these shirts, available in red and black in both large and extra large sizes, send $40 to the PayPal link in the description, bitches, along with which shirt you want, the size, and shipping address. And if there's any special messages you want me to write, don't make them too long, don't make them too complicated, because I might not spell them right, and don't make them gay. Yeah, put that in there too. Oh shit, I just sound like my ex-wife, Space Ghost. Hello everybody, Terrence Pop here with another episode of Live from the Lair. All right, let's see, where did we leave off? We're coming up towards the end of the 90s. 98 was pretty good, with good year for me. I was working in finance. I worked my way up the rankings in kickboxing. I took the belt behind me. That's the North American belt for the FFKA. It was a sanctioning body that was based out of Pennsylvania, I believe. But I took that in Toronto, Canada. And between that fight and when I fought the world champion for the light heavyweight title in '99, I had 3 other fights with other former world champions, so it was told to me, and I defeated them all. So I got a shot at the FFKA light heavyweight champion, which was held by a guy who went by the name of Eddie Butcher. Wow. We're going way back here, so I don't know. I watched his fight tapes. He was good, you know. He's a very slick fighter. Didn't really have, from what I saw, punching power. He kicked pretty hard, but he punched they looked okay, but you know, I didn't impress me. And you know, I think I was 29 at the time, and he was like 38, 39. So, you know, I'm like thinking I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna walk through this old man because he's fucking old as dirt. Fuck that guy. Blah blah blah. Okay, now of all the other weigh-ins I went to for kickboxing, everything was always so calm and professional. There was no shit talking. They really look you in the eye. They'd shake your hand, and I mean, you know, it really wasn't a big deal. But when I went to that weigh-in, that fucker shit talked me, and his entire crew just shit talked. Like, they were just typical fucking just inner city trash talk, gutter bullshit. It was so unprofessional. It was disgraceful. You know, I'm like, whatever. You know, I weigh in, I make weight. I think we're fighting at 176, 178, somewhere in there. I weighed in, you know, right on the money. He missed weight by like, I think, a pound. And then he had 2 hours to lose it, which he did easily. And he came in, made weight. And, you know, I warm up. I go through the whole deal, you know. Get your face, you put the Vaseline on your face, and yeah, I knew it was going to be a rough night. I mean, listen, whenever you get in there to fight any other human being, especially one that knows what the fuck they're doing, you know you're gonna get fucked up. You're not coming out clean. You just have to accept it up front. which I did. I never really had a problem dealing with pain or what have you. And, I get in there, I was wearing, black pants, or I think we were wearing 10-ounce gloves. It might have been 8-ounce gloves. They were very thin. And he comes out, he's wearing this stupid fucking set of shorts. They're kind of like black and gold, and they weren't even shorts. It kind of looked like a fucking fancy skirt, What an idiot. So, the first round, it's basically a feel-up round. I was really apprehensive in the beginning, and, took a couple jabs, landed a couple of my own shots. Everything was going fine, and he landed a really powerful right hand, like right on the button. It caught me right here, swung my head off to the side, and then I looked at him, and I'm like, it's going to be a long night for you, motherfucker. And I continued to do what I always do, and just walk right at him, guy. Just a relentless fucking advance, I just walk through his punches, and I landed some good shit, staggered him a couple times, caught him with a butterfly kick. It's basically where you throw a roundhouse with the right leg, you bring it to about midsection right at the belt line, and then you bring the left roundhouse up and down. I caught him with one of those, staggered him, put him against the ropes, he covered up, and then the bell rang. Went to our corners. Second round came out, was more of the same. And he was throwing more kicks because he really couldn't keep me off of him any other way. And literally I was walking through his punches. And he had a really respectable rear leg roundhouse. And he threw one, and I remember I saw it coming, and I put my arms up, and it just grazed my elbow and hit my ribs. And I felt my rib break, and I knew I was fucked. I finished out the round, went to my corner. They're like, "What's wrong with you?" I think I have a broken rib. They're like, "Okay, well, you got to suck it up." I'm like, "Roger that. I don't fucking quit. It's just not my style." And every human body, you have a line that goes down the center of your being. And to generate proper power, you have to twist and come across that line, which I couldn't do anymore because it was fucking killing me. And he kept trying to kick me. He knew I was hurt. He kept kicking me, and god damn. But I had fought on the West Coast, so I knew international rules. So I was using leg checks against him. And I remember he threw that rear leg roundhouse one more time, caught me on the elbow. He saw me flinch. He threw it again. I saw it coming. I lifted up my left knee and checked it with my knee right on his shin. Boom. And I did that 2 other times, and he quit throwing that fucking kick. And that's pretty much how the fight went. He couldn't really hurt me. In the 4th and 5th round, I almost dropped him with a right hand. And he was such a cocky, arrogant fuck. He'd sit there and he was rope-a-doping me because I couldn't keep up with him, so I was hurt. So in the 4th round, he lands a double jab and a right hand, and I catch it, and I just took it right on the button, and I wave him in, and he goes, "Oh, you want some more, white boy?" And as soon as he stepped in, boom, right between the eyes. Blood shoots out of his nose. He stumbles back. I went up against the ropes, tried to finish him. Same thing happened. In the 5th round, he spun me around, threw me up against the ropes, and was doing a flurry of punches, and I came up with an uppercut right on the chin, but I couldn't finish it with a hook because I couldn't twist. And we went back and forth. And that's pretty much how the whole fight went up until about the 10th round. Beginning of the 10th round, I had caught a right hand and it had laid me open. I mean, about half of my eyebrow was cut open. I couldn't see out of the eye. I was bleeding profusely. And then he punched it 3 or 4 more times. There's really not much more I could do. We at the end of the 10th round, we went back to the corner. The doctor came up and said, "That's it." And I lost on a TKO. But I did pretty good, for having shattered ribs not being able to see out of one of my fucking eyes. And I looked like a piece of beat up hamburger. I had to sew myself up in the dressing room, and it took me about 3 weeks to fucking get up and mobile because my ribs were so fucked up. My forearms from catching the kicks were bruised to the bone. That motherfucker was kicking so fucking hard, it was bruised to the bone. But I learned some valuable lessons from that fight that I took forward for the rest of my life and saved lives of my men. As I never, and I have never since, ever, underestimate anyone or any fucking thing. So if you take away a lesson from this gentleman, don't fucking underestimate shit, because it'll bite you in the fucking ass. And, I tried to petition for a rematch, but, the guy was getting married like an idiot, and it was a no-go. Not to mention, I'd been doing it pretty much 20 kickboxing from 21 up until that point. I just turned 30. I retired from ring at 31 when I was 31 years old. I don't know, man. I was just done. I had reached the end of the journey. It was a good run. I loved it. I still work out doing kickboxing for self-defense and stuff, but, I was done competing at 31. And the next story, since I remember there was a guy in the 425, he's deceased now. His name was Jimmy Androina, Corporal Androina. Great guy. Former airborne ranger. He was in 3rd Bat when I was in 2nd Bat. I remember I went to rip with him, and I believe we passed each other in pre-ranger. And, we used to bullshit, tell war stories and all that other fucking... Great guy. Had a heart of gold, man. He'd do anything for you. He's a great friend, and he would make a horrible enemy, so he was better off a friend. And I believe this was in 2000 or 99, one of those years. At the Pontiac Airport, because the 425 used to be out of the Pontiac Armory. And we used to go to the Metro Cafe. I think that was the name of it. It was a bar that was located inside the Pontiac Airport. It was a pretty good time. It was always crazy. We'd go in there and drink and fight and just do paratrooper shit and hit on chicks. And we worked out a secret that if you bought an 8-ounce glass of tequila, it was actually cheaper than buying it per shot by like 30%. So we would all go in there and we'd call it the long count. That was one of Jimmy's favorites. That rat bastard. But anyway, I had left, and this was Saturday night, and I had left early because we had drill the next morning. I never, I'd go there for a few, but I wouldn't stay all night and do stupid shit. Because, you can do that when you're 21, but when you get older, it's not so fun anymore. So apparently there was some kind of scuffle. Jimmy was involved, and a couple other guys from the 425, and the bouncers had grabbed Jimmy and were restraining him, and one of the guys he was having a problem with was unrestrained and then walked up and punched Jimmy in the face. But he had one of those little plastic knuckle buffer things, and it damaged his eye and blinded Jimmy in one fucking eye. And the bouncers knew who this fucker was, and, they wouldn't give his name up or anything like that. And, I was pretty upset about it. And, we found out Jimmy was fucked. He was basically blind in one eye. And we kept him around in the National Guard because, the National Guard, you can shield people from shit like that. Because normally in the Army, you lose an eye, you're fucking gone. But we knew if we ever got deployed, Jimmy wouldn't make the cut. There's no way he'd make it through the mob site with one eye. It's just not going to fucking happen. So, the following month, I remember I went up there to the bar and I talked to the one bouncer. Big black guy. It's a total meathead, just steroided out. You know, his arms were like 24 inches. I mean, he was fucking crazy. He looked like a WWF wrestler, and two of his other corn-fed motherfuckers standing behind him. And I'm like, hey, I want that guy's fucking name. And he basically told me to fuck off, blah, blah, blah. Like, okay. So, I believe we had 2 platoons of the 425 show up about 20 minutes later. We blocked off the exits so cars couldn't leave or come in. And I remember I walk in there and I talk to that same guy again. And he had a whole different attitude this time. Because I remember I looked him in the fucking face. And I said, you're going to give me that fucker's name. Or you're going to die where you fucking stand. And then I heard about 8 or 10 guys behind me lock and load their pistols. And one of the big corn-fed tough motherfuckers in the back, stream of urine running down his fucking leg. There was a door behind him. So he like reached back for the door. And I don't know who the guy was back there, but he opened the door and had a pistol on the guy. And I said, hey, this is how it works. If you don't give me that motherfucker's name, one of you 3 guys is gonna fucking die. And I'm not fucking kidding. They were really fucked up. I said some other fucked up shit. I was really fucking angry. The 2 other guys, you know, I could tell they didn't know who that guy was, because you could just tell. And I said, you 2, get the fuck out of here and don't ever come back. And I let him go. And that one big black motherfucker, it was going to go bad for him. It really fucking was. He's lucky. Because there was an off-duty cop there who walked in and said, what the fuck's going on? And the look on that cop's face was like, holy fuck. You know, he knew that he'd fucked up as soon as he did that. But, you know, what are you going to do? So, we broke contact. I never did get the guy's fucking name. Those 2 guys never came back to work there again. And that place mysteriously burned down a couple months later. What a shame. Anyway, shortly thereafter, I believe it was 2001, Jimmy Androina died in his sleep. After he got hurt, he was drinking a lot, using some party favors to try to ease the pain because he was getting real wretched fucking headaches. Because he didn't let them take the eye out. He was holding out hope that it would be fixed. And one night, he died in his sleep. And I can say this in all honesty, that Jimmy Androina didn't make the trip to Iraq in 2003. But he made it in spirit. I swear to God, he was the guardian angel who watched out over all of the guys from the 425 in Iraq in 2004. Because everyone, including me, has a fucking crazy close call fucking story. And 159 men, including me, went into Iraq, the Sunni Triangle, Abu Ghraib prison, the belly of the fucking beast. And all 159 men returned. Well, Jimmy, if you ever get to see this, I love you, Ranger, and thank you for watching my 6.